There's one person on that entire ship who can quietly transform your whole week, and most people over 60 walk right past them and never say a word. Your cabin steward. That's the crew member who tends your stateroom. And here's the thing nobody tells you at the terminal. A large part of their job is bringing you comfort items you'd never guess were available, at no extra charge, simply because you asked. So let me start with the request that changes how you sleep, because for our generation, sleep is everything. On the very first day before you unpack, ask your steward for an egg crate mattress topper. It's a foam pad that goes right on top of the mattress and softens a bed that can feel firm as a board. And for anyone with a bad hip or a bad back, it's the difference between waking up sore and waking up rested. Now here's the part I have to be honest about, and it's why I lead with it. There are only a handful of these toppers per deck, and they go fast. By the second night, once other people have felt that firm mattress, they're all asking too. So this is a day one request, the moment you meet your steward, or you may hear that they've run out. Some lines have also quietly stopped offering the foam kind for hygiene reasons. So if yours doesn't have it, ask for an extra duvet or a second blanket underneath you instead. Same effect, softer bed. I'll tell you where I learned that one. Years ago, on my first few cruises, my husband and I both came home from a lovely week, feeling like we'd been sleeping on a park bench. We blamed the ship. We blamed our age. It never once occurred to us that the fix was one sentence to the young man who cleaned our room every morning. A sentence we could have said on the first afternoon. That's the whole reason I make these videos. Nobody hands our generation this list, and I don't want you learning it the way I did, one sore morning at a time. Stay with me and keep a pen handy, because I'm giving you 20 of these. And by the end, you'll walk onto your next cruise knowing exactly what to ask for on day one. Take a picture of the screen at the end and you'll have the whole list. And if you're new here, I'm Margaret, your cruise companion, and I make these for those of us cruising after 60 who would rather board a ship knowing every quiet trick than learn it the hard way. Let me stay on your comfort for a moment, because a good week at sea starts with a good night's rest. The second thing, and it's the easiest win of all, extra pillows, and pillows of a different firmness. Most staterooms come with one thin, flat pillow per person, and if you sleep on your side or you need to prop yourself up a little, that's not enough. Your steward keeps a whole closet of them. Ask for 2 more. Ask for firmer ones or softer ones, whatever your neck needs. Nobody thinks to ask, and everyone sleeps better when they do. Third, extra blankets. Ship cabins get cold at night, colder than most people expect, because the air conditioning runs hard, and you often can't turn it down much. Rather than lying there shivering at 2 in the morning, ask for a couple of extra blankets on day one and keep them in the closet. Reach for them when you need them. Fourth, and this one surprises people, a bathrobe. Now, on some lines, the plush robe only comes standard in the suites, but it costs you nothing to ask, and again the steward simply brings one to a regular cabin. A warm robe for the walk to the spa, or for that early morning out on your balcony with a coffee, is one of those small luxuries that makes the whole trip feel richer. Fifth, a fresh fruit bowl. Many ships will place a bowl of fruit in your cabin and refill it through the week if you just ask your steward to keep it stocked. For those of us watching what we eat, having an apple or a banana right there in the room instead of a chocolate is a quiet little gift that costs nothing. Sixth, fresh ice refilled. Your steward fills the ice bucket, but they'll top it up as often as you like. Ask them to keep it full morning and evening, and you've got cold water and a place to chill a little something all day without a single trip to the buffet. Now let me shift to the ones that genuinely matter for our health, because this is where asking your steward isn't just about comfort, it's about safety. And I want you to hear this part clearly. Before I get to the steward, though, one thing that comes first. Almost every cruise line has what they call an accessibility desk or a special needs department, and you contact them weeks before you ever set foot on the ship. That's where the medical requests really get set in motion. Your steward is the person who makes it all happen once you're aboard, but the paperwork starts on land. So the pattern I want you to remember for everything in this next stretch is simple. Arrange it before you sail, then confirm it with your steward on day one. Belt and suspenders. That's how you make sure nothing falls through the cracks with the things you actually need. Seventh, if you use a CPAP machine, distilled water, you need it for the machine. You cannot just use tap water, and you should not lug heavy jugs from home. Let the cruise line know before you sail, and remind your steward on day one, and most lines will have distilled water waiting in your cabin. Arrange it in advance. Don't leave it to chance the first night. 8th, and this goes with it, an extension cord for that CPAP machine. The outlet is rarely right by the bed, and you cannot pack your own on many lines anymore. But the ship will often provide a proper medical extension cord for a CPAP if, and this matters, if you notify the cruise line ahead of time and confirm it with your steward when you board. Set that up before you sail, and you'll never be stretching a cord across the floor at bedtime. 9th, ask your steward to empty the minibar fridge. If you keep insulin or any medication that needs to stay cold, that little fridge is your friend, but only once it's cleared of the cruise line's charged drinks, so you don't get billed for moving them and you have the room. One quiet word to your steward, and that fridge becomes your medication cooler for the week. This is one of the most useful things I can tell anyone traveling with refrigerated medicine. And I'll add one honest caution, because I would rather you hear it from me. Those little cabin fridges are cooling units, not true medical refrigerators, and they don't always hold a steady temperature. So if your medication is truly temperature sensitive, mention that to the accessibility desk before you sail, and ask whether the ship's medical center can store it properly. And bring a small insulated travel case as your backup. I don't say that to scare you. I say it because you deserve the real answer, not a rosy one. 10th, and I feel strongly about this one because it prevents falls. Ask your steward to rearrange the furniture. If you use a walker, a cane, or a scooter, that coffee table in the middle of the room and that extra chair are trip hazards in a tight space. Your steward will happily move them out or store them and open up a clear path from the bed to the bathroom to the door. You do not have to live around the furniture. Ask them to move it. And if you travel with a mobility scooter, here's the piece people don't find out until it's a problem. That scooter has to be stored and charged inside your cabin overnight, not left out in the hallway, because a scooter in the corridor is a fire hazard and the crew will move it. So your steward will help you work out where it lives against the wall, out of your path to the bathroom, and near an outlet so it charges while you sleep. Sort that out with them on the first day, and you'll never be stepping over it in the dark. 11th, let them set up the beds the way your body needs them. 2 beds pushed together into one, or split apart into twins. A bed raised or lowered. Your steward handles all of it, usually before you even arrive if you ask through the cruise line first. If getting in and out of a high bed is hard on your knees, say so. That's a normal request, and they've done it 1,000 times. All right, let me get back to the everyday comforts, the little things that just make the room feel like yours. 12th, a sewing kit. A button pops, a hem comes loose the night of the formal dinner, and there's your steward with a compact little kit. You don't need to pack one, just ask. 13th, extra hangers. Cabin closets come with a stingy few, and between 2 people dressing for dinner every night, you run out fast. Your steward has a stack of them, Ask for a dozen more on day 1 and hang everything properly instead of living out of the suitcase all week. 14th, wine glasses and a corkscrew. If your line lets you bring a bottle aboard, the cabin often only has water tumblers. Your steward will bring proper glasses and an opener so you and your spouse can enjoy that bottle out on the balcony like civilized people, not drinking Cabernet out of a plastic cup. 15th, extra towels and beach towels for the pool and the port. You don't need to hoard the bath towels or worry about running short. Just tell your steward you'd like a few extras kept in the room, and you're covered for the shower, the pool, and the beach day. One honest heads up on the pool and beach towels, though. On a lot of lines, those get checked out to your cruise card, and if one doesn't come back, you can find a charge on your account for a lost towel, and it's not a small one. So the trick is simple. Keep them in your cabin between beach days rather than leaving them on a lounger, and turn them back in at the end. Your steward can hold clean ones for you and help you keep the count straight so you're never billed for a towel that just blew off a deck chair. 16th, a shoehorn, extra toiletries, cotton, the little bathroom things. Ran out of soap, need more lotion, forgot your shoehorn, want a few extra amenities. It's all in the steward's cart. Most people never think to ask and go without. You just ask. 17th, adjust your turn-down service. Every evening your steward tidies the room and turns down the bed. Tell them how you like it. Fewer decorative pillows piled on the bed so you're not moving them every night. The lights left a certain way. An extra chocolate or none at all. This is your room, and they will set the evening up exactly to your liking once you tell them. 18th, a laundry bag and the pressing service details. If a jacket or a dress got crushed in the suitcase, your steward will bring a bag and walk you through same-day pressing, so you're not going to the dining room looking like you slept in your clothes. And they'll point you to the self-serve laundry if the ship has one, which on a longer cruise saves you from overpacking. 19th, a little help with dietary needs right in the cabin. Ask your steward for things like extra bottled or filtered water for taking pills, a spoon and bowl, or to point your special dietary requests to the right person in the dining room. And if you're managing something real, like a low-sodium diet for your heart, a diabetic-friendly plate, or a serious allergy, this is how you handle it right. Have your steward connect you with the head waiter or the maitre d' on the very first evening. On most ships, that person will then sit with you each night and take your order for the next day, so your meal is prepared safely and the way you need it, without you having to interrogate a different waiter at every meal. It's a quiet bit of care our generation especially appreciates, and it starts with one word to your steward. They are your connection to the whole rest of the ship, and they'll make sure the right department knows what you need. Now, before I give you the last one, let me talk about the how and the when, because that matters as much as the what. Timing first. Your steward introduces themselves in the first hour or two after you board, usually while you're still finding your way around the cabin. That short conversation is the single most valuable 2 minutes of your whole cruise, and most people rush right past it because they're eager to go find lunch. Don't. That's the moment to say your handful of requests all at once, kindly and clearly. The extra pillows, the topper, the fridge cleared, whatever you need. Ask early, when the supplies are still full and the steward has time, not on the third night when everything's already been claimed. And here's a self-correction, because I had this next part backwards for years, and I'd rather you didn't. I used to believe you had to slip your steward a big tip up front on day 1 to get the good treatment. Fold a 20 into a handshake and buy your week of comfort. I was wrong about that, and it always felt a little awkward besides. What actually works is far simpler and it costs nothing. Learn their name. Use it. Treat them like a person, not a service. Say good morning when you pass them in the hallway. A steward who feels seen by you will move mountains for you. And no folded bill does what genuine warmth does. The tip, if you give a little extra, comes at the end, as a thank you for a week well cared for, not as a bribe at the start. One more small thing on the how. When you ask for what you need, not for the specific thing you think exists. Instead of asking whether they have one exact gadget, tell your steward the problem. Say, the bed's too firm for my back, or I can't reach the outlet for my machine, or this table's in my way with the walker. Let them solve it. They know that cabin and that ship far better than you do, and half the time they'll offer a fix you'd never have thought to ask for by name. And the 20th, the one that comes back to you tenfold. Learn your steward's name on day one and use it. Say hello. Tell them a little about how you like your room, and yes, a few extra dollars of thanks along the way never hurts. Because here's the truth I've watched play out on cruise after cruise. The cruisers who greet their steward warmly on the first morning are the ones whose every little request somehow gets handled faster and kinder all week long. It's not a transaction, it's a relationship, and it's the best one you'll make on the whole ship. So here's your list, clean, and this is your moment to take a picture of the screen. On day one, ask for an egg crate topper before they run out. Ask for extra pillows and different firmness. Ask for extra blankets. Ask for a bathrobe. Ask for a fruit bowl kept stocked. Ask for the ice refilled. Arrange distilled water for your CPAP. Arrange the CPAP extension cord in advance. Have the minibar fridge emptied for your medications. Have the furniture moved for your walker or scooter. Set the beds up for your body. Ask for a sewing kit. Ask for extra hangers. Ask for wine glasses and a corkscrew. Ask for extra towels. Ask for the little bathroom extras. Adjust your turn down just how you like it. Get a laundry bag and the pressing details. Ask for help with your dietary needs. And most of all, learn your steward's name and treat them like the friend they'll become. You know, a good many of you have asked me to put all of these day one requests somewhere you can actually hold on to, so you're not trying to remember them at the gangway. I did exactly that. The full checklist of what to ask for, along with the whole medication and mobility guide for cruising after 60, lives in the Senior Cruise Companion Collection. It's the written version of everything we just went through, ready to take with you right onto the ship. The link is in the description, and there's a code on your screen for those watching on the television. It's there if it would help you, and only if you want it. But please hear me on this. Every single thing I named today is already yours, included, waiting, the moment you simply ask. The cruise line will never announce it. Your steward won't offer half of it unprompted. The only thing standing between you and a far more comfortable week is one friendly conversation on your first morning aboard. I'm Margaret, your cruise companion. Be well, be kind to your steward, and I'll see you on the next one.